Hey there everyone, Mazrock here, and today I want to go over the Necrotic Wake weapons as a guide. I see a lot of people going in, misusing them, not knowing what they do, not picking them up at all, and honestly, those weapons laying about in the Necrotic Wake can easily make or break a run. So there are 4 weapons in the Necrotic Wake, and I want to go over them bit by bit. This isn't going to be a long video, so you don't have to worry about that. I do want to state right off the bat, if you like this type of content, please like this video and subscribe. This community is growing bit by bit, and I would love to see this grow a little bit further as well. I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Come on by, check it out, and we'll see you there. So let's get right into it. So the first weapon that you're going to notice is the Bloody Javelin. This is actually the most common to take because everyone by now, a lot of people by now have figured out it deals a large chunk of damage. Well, it also does something else. So it dealing damage to all mobs it passes through. So if you're going to use it on a mob, on a fort week preferably, on a fortified week, it will deal damage to everything it passes through. So you want to aim for the one in the back, cleaving straight through, but it also increases all damage taken by 20% for 16 seconds. So if you're going to use the Bloody Javelin, I do suggest, if you're going to use it on fortified weeks, use it on a mob that gives you particular trouble. There's a named mini-boss around the corner, Nard something. He's a caster that loves to spam necrotic bolts, and he's difficult to deal with on fortified weeks. The Javelin's a good option for to use on him, and kind of time it through with some big cooldowns that your DPS might have and things like that. But a lot of people don't realize that 20% damage buff occurs for 16 seconds. That's not a short amount of time. That is a combustion. That is a wild spirits. That is a dark soul, dark lair combo. Whatever your cooldown is, as a DPS, time it with that, and you can deal big damage. Who doesn't want a 20% damage buff to your big cooldown, whatever it is, Blade Storm or whatever. So, but on tyrannical weeks, it is very, very important that you use these on the bosses. My suggestion, what we do is, I think there's 3 javelins, and there's 3 javelins in the Necrotic Wake that I'm pretty sure of. We use them on the last 3 bosses, 1 apiece, and it works very, very well. And since we started to learn how to use these and coordinate these better, the runs go a lot simpler. So that's my suggestion, but do remember there's a 20% damage buff. Not a lot of people know that. So just take that in consideration the next time you're about to use it, and plan accordingly with your cooldowns. The second weapon in the Necrotic Wake is the Forgotten Forge Hammer. Now this deals a large chunk of damage and stuns a single target. Now we were running a Necrotic Wake 12 on non-fortified, and I used the hammer on the 2-pack by the bridge where they deal heavy cleave and like to fear a lot. They can be a little bit of a nasty mob on fort. They got down to about 50%. I used the hammer. They were instantly dead. It deals a large chunk of damage, and the stun is very nice. The Forge Hammer is just not well utilized on bosses, aside for its damage, but it doesn't stun bosses because bosses don't get stunned. So this is really, really good to use versus packs. Now, then there's also the Discharged Anima, the Orb. So with this, it deals damage, and it silences mobs in an area for 8 seconds. So this is really, really good on, for example, like Amarth, where he summons the mages in the back. You can try and bring the boss over, hit the whole target, deal a lot of damage, and if it doesn't kill them, you'll get the stun, and it works really, really nicely. But there's also a lot of caster packs in Necrotic Wake. So on Fortified Week, if there's a particular pack that you're having a nasty time with, use the orb on that, and you will immediately notice your entire life get better. An 8-second silence, that's great. Again, so once you start realizing what these can do, it really can it really can make or break your run. Now the last one is the Discarded Shield, and it really is discarded. It's a 6-second channel that reduces damage taken of all allies within 8 yards by 50 seconds. This incapacitates you. So unless you're having a tank that's having a lot of trouble with a certain mob or a certain pack, and there's a big damage ramp up that you notice is coming, not a bad time to use it. But aside from that, the shield's probably going to be your your least used one. Now, if you're the most comfortable in your group taking these weapons and using them and utilizing them properly, you can pick up multiple weapons on one character as long as they're different types. So you can actually have the Javelin and the Forge Hammer on you at once, but you just can't have multiple Javelins. So take that into consideration next time where you're asking someone to pick up the Forge Hammer and you have a spear. You can actually pick up both and utilize both. You'll get separate action buttons for them. Those are little things that not a lot of people know. So the weapons in Necrotic Wake, I promise you, will make your life a lot easier and your run a lot easier on you, your tanks, your healers, and everything else. So this is just my quick little guide. This is what that's it. Utilize them correctly on Tyrannical Week. Save the spears for the bosses. I'm telling you, we accidentally used 2 spears on Stitchflesh on Tyrannical Week, and we downed him in like 18 seconds from the start of the fight. For like 22 seconds from the start of the fight, I think. We still had Lust and Pride going into the last boss. So, just saying, they can absolutely make or break your week, or your run. So, as a note, I do want to add that I got all of this information on tanknotes.com. I will leave the direct link for the Necrotic Wake down below, but if you're planning on doing higher end Mythic Plus content, I highly suggest going through tank notes for the specific dungeons that you're trying to accomplish. You will learn a lot, I promise you there. So tank notes down below, doobly-doo. Go there and trust me, it is a fantastic resource for you. With that, again, like I said before, I stream on Twitch. Please give me a follow, and we're going to go from there. Aside from that, if you have any questions, any concerns, did I miss something? Is there something that you use in particular? Do you have a strategy that it works insanely well for you and your group? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Aside from that, I hope you guys are enjoying Shadowlands as much as I am, and don't forget to take care of yourselves.